securing national food reserves and taking wealth to rural Zambia. And that's what the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, stands for in this country. Welcome to our Food Reserve. My name is Alec Mugala in Lusaka. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you once again for the kind compliments that you continue to help us with in building our program. Today we continue from where we paused in a previous program, because our program previously was very detailed in looking at the mandate of FRA, and also looking in detail of the benefits of strategic reserves. We continue with the second and the third mandates, which are benefits of market provision and benefits of storage investments at the Food Reserve Agency. And as usual, to help us through this very detailed appreciation is Msiwa Mkololo, who is the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer at the Food Reserve Agency. Once again, welcome, and it's good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Let me compliment you on your shirt. I like this shirt. It sits very well on you.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Indeed.
So previously we looked at the benefits of strategic reserves, and today we are going to look at the benefits of market provisions. Could you just look at this first? What are the benefits of market provisions?
Indeed. Thank you very much. As we continued from the previous program, and we continue with looking at the benefits of market provision. And remember, this is the second mandate that we have as FRA, and we want now to look at the benefits in detail that we get from the provision of market access to the rural small-scale farmers. In our program today, we want to look at 6 of these benefits that we get from market provision, and this is market provision to the rural-based small-scale farmers, where private sector participation is minimal. So in this program, we look at 5 or 6 items or 6 benefits under the market provision. And the first benefit being that of increased production out of assured market. When you look at the increased crop production, what we have provided here, we would want to look at the production statistics of maize from 2005 to 2018. Why have I gone back to 2005? This is the time, this is a period that the market provision was added to the Food Reserve Agency as as an additional mandate. So now, what you see from our figures here is that there has been a sustained increase in terms of maize production from 2015 to 2018. You see a sustained increase from 2015 all the way through to 2018. Farmers are able to produce when there's an assured market. Because one, obviously, the government has supported the production of maize through the provision of market inputs. And also we are saying that we are at the far end of it. We are providing market access when our farmers produce this grain. Simply put here, there is a sustained increase of maize production as presented by Zambia Statistics Agency, which is formerly the Central Statistical Office. So with the assured market, we have this, you can see the sustained increase in the production of maize.
And how does the market access in rural areas pan out?
Indeed, market access to in rural areas. Over time, we've been able to open buying centers, and these buying centers have been opened where the private sector say it's not profitable to go. Mm-hmm. As we go there, provide that market, and on average, we have provided about 980 satellite depots or buying centers throughout the country. And these have been the statistics over time in terms of number of satellite depots that we have opened. And You can see that from 2017 to 2018 all the way to 2019, we have been reducing the number of depots. These are due to the resource envelopes that we've had in those particular years, as well as the availability of crop on the market. In a case like for 2019, we didn't open satellite depots in the southern and also western because of the challenges that we were faced with. And these market centers, they have been able to facilitate a benefit to my grandmother out there who requires a profitable and paying market for the produce that they have.
So how is this enhancing national food security in terms of food reserve build-up?
Indeed, the market provision, we have been able to access the grain that is required for strategic reserves, or the grains that are required for strategic reserves. So now, in this process, we've been able to build up the reserves. What I want to introduce here is an issue of marketable surplus. The bars that you see in the background are that of marketable surplus. Now, what is this marketable surplus? When the Zambia Statistics Agency projects or gives an estimate of production in each year, they go ahead to give us what quantity of grain will be available on the market. And this is the grain that we run for in order to buy or procure for reserves, as well as the private sector. Now, what I want to show here is that we have had the huge marketable surplus we had it in 2014, as well as you can see in 2017. Now, what we see here are the quantities or the percent that the Food Reserve Agency has been able to obtain out of that given marketable surplus on the market. Our colleagues in the industry advance such things as we are crowding out the private sector. We have an average market share of 31%. So now, really, how do you fear someone giving you competition over 31%? At the same time, we are saying in our endeavor to build up reserves, we also give room for the private sector to also flourish and be able to participate or help us in the crop marketing of the grain that is available on the market.
And how has the Food Reserve Agency helped in terms of distributing wealth to the rural areas?
When farmers out there participate in our program, we open our markets in various locations out there, and farmers supply the grain to us, and the agency pays these farmers for their sweat. The program has been able to pay huge sums of monies to the farmers that have been participating on the program. And what we should reflect here is that we have made so much payments in Northern Province because farmers have participated more on the market. They have supplied more grain to us. Also, you look at Eastern Province and Mchinga, Mluapula, Southern, Central, and Northwestern. You see that in the Western Province, they don't produce much in terms of maize. And through that, like I earlier mentioned, as we trade, we use the pan-territorial pricing strategy where our prices are the same everywhere, be it rural, be it urban, it's one single price. So now you look at that, when you look at that, it helps facilitate the distribution of wealth to the participating farmers out there in the rural communities.
And connected to wealth creation is obviously the creation of employment and boost to local business. Could you just elaborate a little bit more on this?
Indeed. To help the program facilitate the market provision, annually we bring on board women and youth so that they facilitate this this program. These are the numbers of the women and youth that we've been able to work with over time. Of course, the from 2017 to 2019, numbers have been going down. This has been because of the levels of stock that we've been able to obtain on the market, as well as, should I simply say, the production of grain, as well as the resource envelope over time that we've had. Another benefit I would want to speak to is the boost to local businesses. Now, every season or every year that we open our markets, we bring on board local transporters. And these local transporters are individuals or companies that are living in those localities that have transport in terms of vehicles that can be able to help us secure in the shortest possible time the stocks that we buy from various locations or all the areas where we open our local, where we open these markets. So we have been able to pay these transporters in these local communities. The payments that are made have the spiral effect in terms of the investment that is made in these local the local districts.
Looking at the third benefit, which is storage investment, how has this worked for the agency?
The benefits of storage investment that we've been able to get has that been we are able to secure the nation's produce. Mm-hmm. We have the facility to store what the nation has produced. And arising from that, we have reduced drastically the stock losses. Because of more investment we have made in the storage facilities, we are able to securely store our strategic reserves to the time that it is needed or required for consumption in all the parts of the country. Now, what we have here is a progression of storage investment. Between 2014 and 2015, we increased our investments in storage, and we are able to happily say now we are around 860,000 metric tons of storage capacity. Because of the investments that we have made in infrastructure or in storage capacity, we are now, as an institution, boasting of the reduction in terms of stock losses. We have reduced these stock losses to 0.02%. The industry level, I need to mention here, the industry level is allowable is 5%. You can see from 2015 all the way through that we continue to dwarf these figures or these graphs to the levels of 0.02%. Simply put, we have been able to, this is one of the benefits that we are getting from the management of national storage facilities and the increased investment. The benefits of the institution are enormous and quite noble. And it's also very, very important that the organization is supported in both ends in terms of resources, as well as the support from farmers when we open our markets. What we get on the market, we secure it for the bad times, and secure it and make it available to the common man so that he's able to afford in terms of the grain prices that are obtained.
Mr. Nsiwa Mkololo, the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer at the Food Reserve Agency, giving us an appreciation of the existence of the Food Reserve Agency. Remember, the Food Reserve Agency stands for Securing National Food Reserves, Taking Wealth to Rural Zambia. On behalf of the entire production team, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alec Mugala. God bless you always.